So in today's video, we cut off my videographer's hair. Now, Bailey has had long hair for a super long time, and we thought it was time for a fresh makeover. So what we did is we cut off the sides and back, kept the top a little bit longer, did some scissor over comb on the sides, did some scissor over comb on the back, disconnected the hair from the ear forward, connected it from the ear back so Bailey wouldn't have to worry about these long pieces hanging and dangling over. I hope you guys enjoy this video. All right, so the very first thing we're gonna do in this haircut is section off the top because Bailey wants to leave the top a little bit longer. And so we're gonna section off the top and save it for last. So the very first thing we're gonna do is start by cutting most of the length off the sides and back. Now we're not too sure exactly how short we're gonna go just yet, so we're gonna kind of take it down in phases. But what we do know is we want it dramatically shorter than what it is now. We just don't know how short just yet. So right here, I'm basically cutting the sides of Bailey's head, and then I'm gonna work my way towards the back, to the middle back, and I will also be doing that on the other side. We'll be cutting the other side of the head on the side and working our way to the middle back as well. So I've now cut a lot of the length off just on the right side of Bailey's head, and now I'm going to start taking the sections towards the back of the hair, and we're going to work our way to the back middle, as I mentioned earlier, and remove just basically all of the length for now and get a lot of this bulk out so we can kind of see what we're working with, and then finally decide how short we want to take it. so we've already cut the length off on the right side, and now we're going to do the exact same on the left side. Now that we've cut all of the length off of Bailey's hair on the sides and back, I'm just taking the trimmers to basically clean up the outline, get rid of all the little shaggy wispy pieces, and just straighten up the outline so that we can go into our scissor over comb. So now it's time to dive into the scissor over comb, and for any of you who've watched my videos in the past, you know that scissor over comb is one of my favorite techniques to execute in hair artistry. Now, just for the record, I do enjoy using clippers. However, it's just more enjoyable for me to do scissor over comb. It's one of those techniques that I really enjoy, I like doing, which is why I do so much of it. Now, you could totally use a clipper, you could do clipper over comb, you could throw on a guard right here, of course, but because I like doing scissor over comb, I'm doing scissor over comb. All right, so basically we are doing the scissor over comb on the side of Bailey's head, and now we are slowly also going to start to transition, doing the scissor over comb into the back of the head, as you can see right here, and then basically carry on the scissor over comb all the way around Bailey's head. So I like to start in panels, working from the right side of the head, flowing all the way around to the left side of the head in one fluid motion. All right, so here I basically now have the barbering comb, which is the super fine tooth comb that gets the hair really short. And I'm basically going to work my way around the neckline, fading out that hard line that we had there. So I'm not a huge fan of hard lines. That's my personal taste. I like faded out lines, kind of blended lines from 0 to whatever the hair length may get to. So I like basically the neck to be bald and no hard line as it transitions from baldness to the hairline to obviously the top of the head. So here I am using a technique where I'm chipping into the neck using both the barbering comb and no comb as well, just kind of freehanding that hard line out of the neckline. so now basically I am just focusing on the hairline on the left side of the head. We've already addressed the hairline on the right side of the head. We addressed the neckline in the back of the head, and now we're addressing the hairline on the left side of the head. Alright, so now that we've finished the scissor over comb on the side and the back of Bailey's head, it is time to let the top of the hair come down so we can address the length that we saved at the top. Now what I do know is I want to connect most of the hair on the top of the head with what we've created on the underneath, all of the parts that we've scissor over combed. I don't want this wispy, hanging over disconnection all throughout the top and the sides. However, I typically find, in my personal opinion, that if I blend everything from the ear back and then leave anything from the ear forward disconnected, it usually flows pretty nicely and looks pretty good. I find that if you leave too much of the sides, too much of the top disconnected with the side, meaning further back than the ear, when the wind blows or for whatever reason when the hair moves, you get these long wispy hanging over pieces that, just in my opinion, don't look as sharp, don't look as tailored. And so I like to basically connect everything from the ear back. So that way we know, no matter which way the wind blows the hair or whatever that, whichever direction the hair may fall, from the ear back, nothing's going to fall over and hang over the underneath. All right, here I'm just doing a quick blow dry just to get the hair dry because I now want to cut the hair dry as I blend in the top into the sides. So I blended in a lot of the top into the sides wet, but wet hair and dry hair react differently. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but hair changes from wet to dry. And since Bailey is going to be wearing his hair dry, hypothetically everybody wears their hair dry for the most part, it's very important to make sure that the hair is going to react accordingly, dry versus wet. So wanted to dry the hair really quickly so that we can now blend the rest of what we're going to blend dry so we know how it's going to react. So as you can see here in this image, whatever's behind the ear is connected, whatever's in front of the ear right now is currently disconnected. We are still going to trim a little bit of the length off of the top, but you can see what I mean as far as disconnection, front of the ear forward, connecting everything back of the ear behind. In my personal opinion, again, I think it just flows and looks a little bit more tailored. Now, right here, I'm just freehanding Bailey's calyx. He's got these calyx throughout his head where the hair kind of just sticks out further in one spot versus the other. And so I'm just going through and freehanding, no comb, freehanding meaning there's no comb involved, I'm not holding it in my hands, and I'm just taking the scissors and freehanding these little flyaway kind of sticking out pieces from Bailey's calyx. So I think it's very important to make sure, and this is again why it's so important to have the hair dry, because if the hair was wet, these hairs wouldn't be sticking out normally. So now that they're dry, I can see exactly the direction they're going to stick out and go ahead and attack those hairs using the freehand technique so that the hair is smooth, fluid, tailored, and perfect. It's time to put a little bit of product in the hair. The haircut is all done, so I'm going to put some pomade into the hair, style it, and dress it up. And as you can see, we went through an extreme makeover. I hope you guys like it. And here is a before and after shot. you guys like this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more great videos. If you liked it, please also give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or comments, don't forget to put them down in the comment section below. And thank you so very much again for watching.